Good morning, everybody. It's Marty, the JavaScript party. It is Thursday. I'm tired. Didn't go get read. I'm not sure if my daughter-in-law and my son's dogs are coming over or not. Our other cat is out right now, so if it does happen, it could get crazy. Um, Hope not. We would love for our cat to get along with my their dogs because it's just so cold outside. It's just too cold for her to be outside. It is 27 degrees Fahrenheit out there, which is 5 degrees below zero. So that's like 2.5 degrees, negative 2.5 degrees Celsius. It's just brutal. So basically, we're trying to take this animation services. So I got animations kind of sitting at the very top of the folder structure. Um, let's see, utilities. Maybe it's at the top of the entities. Yeah, okay. So at the top of the entities, I kind of said, oh, animation is its own entity, but really, animation really needs to be broken up. It just is just doing too many things, and so we have this sort of code here, which seems like render service st render. Oh, okay. So this was where I was trying to update my uh, renderer service in ThreeJS to be able to take a whole entire renderer and um, and basically do this stuff. Basically do all three of these lines and then call this one with the renderer ID, the scene, and the camera. So it needs to be able to get the 3 scene and the 3 camera in order so that it could pass it to this renderer service. So that's the goal. Now so we're like really down at the lowest levels here of the software development in JavaScript and Angular. But if you take a step out, basically this is part of a function that runs 60 times a second. Um, so basically the job of this whole thing is to mint out a function that knows how to update an animation. And right now, what's happening is that is part of a whole bunch of other, in this animation service, a bunch of other kind of completely unrelated things as well. So that's what we're trying to do is further subdivide this. So implement or go to implementations. No, go to definition, maybe. Yeah, that looks like it's right. So all we're doing is taking this renderer, but we want to get this scene and this for a given renderer. And I believe if we hit back, probably makes a lot of sense just to copy these 2 lines. And go back over here and do this. Now, so it looks like we do not bring in the scene service at this point or the camera service. Now, it's okay to bring those in as long as they're not being brought in to, like, as long as the scene service and the camera service um, aren't pulling in this service, which is the renderer service, we should be okay. And I think that is kind of how I have it. But let's just see. Let's see what happens. St scene ID. So here's where we get actually the whole scene. I think a st renderer has a scene ID as well. Okay, so that works. And see over there, I actually did use the st renderer to get the camera ID. All right, so I think that's a little cleaner. And now let's see if we can bring our scene and camera services in without an issue. We will notice that there is an issue um, if these won't render. That it will cause this N0, N200 error if you pull these in. So, oh, okay, so here I called it 3 scene service and 3 camera service. So it looks like I'm already doing it. 3 scene service and 3 camera service. It is 8:50. Man, this has just been a brutal week for everybody I know. I don't know anyone who's having a good week at this point. It's just tired. I'm so tired. All right. So that's good. So it looks like this thing can now render st render. And then this ends up calling, oh, okay. So now we want to call this renderer here. This dot renderer. And this one accepts I think it's see, and this is such a good example where I call it ID here thinking, oh, okay, I know what's going on, but I don't. So let me hit this little back button here and see what we are doing. Back. So when we call render, we send in the renderer ID. Forward. And I think this just makes things so much easier to contemplate. St renderer ID. And then it is so wild. I feel like the most junior developers are always just fixated on naming things, like naming every variable just perfectly, and then you get to that middling level and you're just like, whatever. ID. There's no reason to waste all that time, all that energy on that. And then next thing you know, they're like, oh, I need to get that working again. Okay, so we got our st render dot st renderer ID, and then scene, and then camera. All right. Now I don't know what happens because we're calling it twice. I don't know if everything's going to go twice as fast now because it gets rendered twice or what the deal is. I have no idea. Doesn't look like anything exciting. All right. So now let's go back to our. Do I want to keep this? I think I want to get rid of this console log. And then let's go back to this guy. And I don't think we want any of this anymore. So my belief is that this one function will do all of that. This one call. One call does it all. And it seems everything seems to be working. All right. All right. So let's just go ahead and delete this. And we are an inch closer to having all this stuff pulled out. What I would love to do is just be able to pull this whole function out of here completely. Create function for ID, though, probably should be in another service that is specifically for anything that's going to be running in the request animation frame. We had already tried that one. So this is our 3 animation service, render service, st animations. So this gets our estimate. Okay, so this whole else basically exists just to render. So this is a 3 thing. Oh no, this is STC mesh IDs. All right, so then this goes through each one, and then this goes through each one of these, and then it runs that, and then once everything's all been updated, um, then it will re-render it. So basically, it goes in, tells ThreeJS all the new things, and then it says draw it. So that's what this does. So update 3 animation service. Where should this go? Okay, so basically for a given ID, ST animation for each. This is literally just, okay, so this is all ST side, I think, right? Because, oh no, this actually updates the 3. Okay. Oh, this gets so confusing because, okay. So this is going to get me my mesh for a given mesh ID, which the 3 mesh service would be the one who knows how to do it. This is going to get me my animation IDs. This is going to get animations. Okay, animation IDs. Okay, so I feel like these two need to be combined into one function. Right, so basically, and again, I don't know exactly why. I can't give you an exact reason why, but combine these in ST animation. So basically what I want to do is and so I want to take that. I want to just pass it a mesh ID and get all the animations for it. So something along these lines. Let ST animations equals ST animation array equals this dot ST animation service dot get ST animations for mesh ID. So that's basically going to take these two, turn them into one, and say, hey, get me for mesh ID. ST mesh ID. And I'm probably going to want to, yeah. So this will get me my 3, this will give me that, and then this will combine those. And that, probably all of this together needs to go into a single function inside of 3 mesh or 3 animations. Something that can take a mesh and update all the animations. That's what it does. And then, so then that becomes a one-liner, and then this should probably, a function inside of 3 animations should be able to accept a mesh ID, an array of mesh IDs, and then do all this. So then we're just calling that out, and then we probably should be able to give it, yeah, who knows? We'll go from there. But anyways, yeah, we're slowly chipping away at this. It would have been a lot easier to do correctly from the beginning if we knew how to do it correctly from the beginning, but we didn't know how. Anyways, it's 8:59, so I gotta go. Happy coding, everybody. Bye.